Well, good evening, everyone. My name is John Parker, and I'm the superintendent of Central Valley School District, and I'm really excited to be with you here tonight. We might take another 15 or so seconds where we're just going to allow some additional folks, if they want to, join us. So we'll just take and pause just for a moment for them to join us. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Again, John Parker, superintendent of this amazing school district we call Central Valley. A lot of pride in this community, a lot of things going on here, and a lot of exciting activities that our students and staff are engaged in every day. Whenever I do these types of, have these opportunities, it's always an opportunity to go into some greater depth at what's going on in this amazing district. But I also want to pause and say, I'm so proud of everything that goes on that I also want to monitor my own time because I could talk forever on any one of these topics. And so I've got a team of individuals that are helping me usher me along so that we make sure that we get through the presentation in a timely manner. You know, when just 3.5, 4 years ago, we were looking at the end of the major aspects of the pandemic and how COVID just decimated so much of some of the learning, the mental, emotional health of students. And we have been rebuilding since. Central Valley is not alone in that. All of our neighboring districts, not only in Spokane County, but across the state and across the nation, even the world, have been rebounding and trying to get back for the learning loss and all of the other impacts of COVID. Well, tonight is a celebration. We have plenty of work to continue doing, but tonight is a snapshot in time of a celebration. And I'm really excited to be sharing this information with you on our State of the District address, January 29th, 2026. Just a little bit of an idea of how the format of the program is going to go tonight. This is going to be recorded. It's being recorded right now. And we're going to post this on our website so anybody can look at it at any time. We will also, at the end of it, after probably a close to maybe 35 or so minutes, we will have an opportunity for any of you to ask questions. We have a team of folks standing by, and if you have in your menu bar, you can see where there's an opportunity to have the chat or Q&A. You can click on that and use that as an opportunity to ask your questions. We have teams that are standing by ready to answer your questions, and some of those questions will be given to me because we know that some of those might be a good question to ask the superintendent because of the broader look. I also want to acknowledge right now the fact that we have our amazing school board on tonight with us, and that is President Stephanie Jordan, a newcomer to the board, Dr. Ellen Skidmore, we have Anise Barker, we have Pam Orbaugh, and we also have Cindy McMullen and President Stephanie Jordan. So we're just excited that our board is watching this as well, because when we talk about the work we're doing, we identify ourselves as a board superintendent team. And that's what this whole district is comprised of, teams, whether it's teams of teachers, administrator, teams of volunteers to make this district go. So let's jump in a little bit right now to the start of this and get started. So as I said, welcome. And I wanted just to let you know that I'm holding up in my hand right now, just on Monday night, our school board approved the report card for the 2025-2026 school year. And this report card is a reflection of the roadmap of our strategic plan over the course of the last, we started this a few years ago, and it's scheduled to sunset on 2028. but the report card is available. It's available online on our website. And so I've got a copy of it in my hand, and there may be even copies in our schools. And so don't hesitate to pick that up and look through it. But we have it electronically, and we also have it available in print form. When you're looking at this amazing document that comprises a set of accountability and transparency components that are very important to me as your superintendent, as I've said all along, a couple of key things to remember. The results, you're going to see three key pictures, CVSD star logo in green, yellow, and red. And if it's in green, it was better than last year. Yellow is no change, and red is less than last year. There are many greens. There's a few yellows, and there's just a few reds, and that's again why there's cause for celebration. Also, there's an opportunity for ourselves. It's always nice to have a comparison with Central Valley to the state, and we want to remind everybody that a lot of this data was taken directly off the OSPI report card, and you can see right there on the screen the link for that. So let's jump in here. Just in an overall nutshell and an overview of the report card, you see it broken into 5 distinct areas: student learning and success, high performance school staff, high reliability district systems, roadmap to improvement, which is our actual strategic plan, and community and parent engagement. And so we're going to be reporting out on all of these. And let's jump right in. The most important component, kindergarten readiness. We are so happy to talk about kindergarten readiness in the Central Valley School District. Namely, we have 540 littles that join us in getting ready for kindergarten every day. We also have an early learning center that's located just off Sprague in downtown, but we also have grown so much, we also have other satellite classrooms around the district. In all total, 540 little learners that we are supporting through our ECAP program. When you look at the kindergarten readiness, there's one metric that really stands out that I wanted to share with you. The Washington Kindergarten Inventory of Developing Skills, also known as WAKIDS, is that assessment that we do, that our teachers do, that assess how ready are they for kindergarten. And this is a common metric that's used across the state, not only for our kindergarten students, but also our early learning students. And we are really happy that we use some of these same metrics that have led to a 63.8% success rate, and that's among the highest in the state. And we're really, really happy. And you can see the 2 green comparisons, green stars there. And what we're measuring on that is social, emotional, physical, cognitive, language, literacy, and math. So we're getting started for their preparation early on. The other thing that's really important as a metric is the Smarter Balanced Assessments, also known as the SBAs. And that is that one-time summative assessment that we give towards the end of the year that is a kind of a high-stakes test for our students. And I wanted to show this screen and share with you, we are doing very, very well. Now, we haven't arrived yet, and our teams, our schools know that. We've got more work to do, but you can see our trajectory forward in how many of the green stars we've got here. We've also noted, and in comparison and checking in with the state, we see a lot of similarities as to when we do have a red star, where there's some areas of growth, and we find that there's lots of school districts in similar positions. For example, you see the grade 3 English language arts. There was some commonalities with some challenges in many, many districts. So we're looking for those trends, and then we're looking for the areas where we can improve based on some of the metrics provided to us by the Office of the Superintendent of Public Instruction, also known as OSPI. So we wanted to outline that box for you, but this is one of the pages right in the report card. And you can also see, look at all the comparison across Central Valley students with the state. We're just very pleased. You can see the English language arts, math, and we also have science in there as well. The next thing I'd like to talk with you about is graduation rates, because here's an area that we wanted to improve, we sought to improve, and we made some deliberate took some deliberate steps to make those improvements. And look at this, a 4.6% increase from last year based on all of the steps that we took, and some really, whether it was data reporting or it was also making sure that the students that were on our books, as they say, to graduate on time, were actually students that were still in our district. And you can see that a huge increase from last year. I'll talk a little bit more later on when we talk about Direction 3 of our strategic plan. You'll notice also the extended graduation rate. It has a red star there, but we also are waiting to get that information in because that's usually year 5 and beyond. But still very, very pleased, because we want all of our students walking across the stage to get their high school diploma so that they're ready for that next level of adventure in their life. And if they don't graduate on time, we know that that's an indicator that they're going to continue to stumble, and we want every kid successful. So I wanted just to share with you, we have 5 different high schools, 3 of them comprehensive high schools that are quite big, anywhere from 13 to 1,400 students. And then we have some more smaller schools that have around 2 to 250 students. And that is Micah Peak and Spokane Valley Tech. And you can just see those percentages all on time, graduated in 4 years. And we're very, very happy with the work that has gone on there. Before I jump into this, student activities and involvement, when so many of our parents were talking to us through our community conversations, so many of our parents recognized that students being engaged in after-school activities, sports, clubs, and various other activities is also a huge identifier about belonging and success in our district. And we thought, let's capture the metric. And we thought that this would be a very valuable metric, and you can see just how important it is. You can see all the incredible pictures over to the right. You see things from sports and clubs. You see our Doris Morrison Learning Center that all of our 5th grade students participate in for outdoor environmental science. And we're just so pleased to be able to offer these opportunities that we decided to count them. And there you have the numbers. And over the 20,000 participants, and some of our kiddos are counting twice and maybe even 3 times, but we wanted to capture this data to show how important things like debate, choir, ensembles, orchestra, robotics, all these different extracurricular activities are important in the big mosaic of what rounds out our kids' education. So we're just really excited about that and showing you this metric here. Spend some time looking at this, because I think we're second to none as far as having lots of opportunities for students in Central Valley. So with that, let's jump into the next section of the report card, high performance school staff. A lot of people don't understand, but we are one of the largest employers in Spokane County, 8th largest, right behind institutions like multi-care, healthcare, and other large systems. We are a very large system. And in a system like that, we also are proud that the money that is coming in from taxes is going back out to our community to help compensate them to take part in this endeavor called education. So we're excited about that. You can see from this screen, we have over 1,000 teachers and certificated staff. And we're all so proud of the 951 classified and educational support from everybody, from the individuals that are supporting the adults, supporting our teachers and our students in classrooms, to bus drivers, to custodians, and everybody else that is supporting our students. And we also are so grateful for the 60 long-term subs so that we can conduct and have that cushion in case someone's not feeling well and can't be at work, or we need individuals to have teachers to have training and those substitutes to cover for much needed professional development that we want to offer. The other thing I wanted to share with you is a key area that the school board has been focusing on, our teams have been focusing on, our schools and teachers, and that is the professional learning communities, also referred to as PLCs. You will notice that there's so much language coming out about PLCs recently, and we are pleased to be hitting this very hard and we're all locking arms together, our teachers and support staff, our administrators, and our district administrators all joining arms, because when we are working on academics, it's coming through these professional learning communities. And where, as a person that sees this the most, where might you see the collaboration happening with PLCs? Well, it's happening all the time, but most specifically on Thursday mornings. You've wondered why your student might be going to school late. And recently we just had increased the amount of time, a late start for our high schools. That is because our teachers and support staff and administrators need time to collaborate in a regular school day and figure out through a systemic way to look and share their expertise, analyze data from students, whether it's in literacy, mathematics, science, or all the other myriad of classes, and work together to improve those teaching practices to really address the needs of students. And all of this is guided by 4 questions that our teachers have been aware of. We have had lots of professional development for our administrators, for our teachers, and the key questions are all centered around these 4 questions from the DeFores, who are kind of the center point of the PLC movement. And the 4 questions are: what do we want the kids to be able to know and do? How will we know if they've learned it? How do we respond if they haven't learned it? And for our students that have already figured it out or know it, what do we do for those students once they've already demonstrated that level of proficiency? So that is the simple, clear focus of our PLCs. And it's a systemic approach that all of our schools, all of our teachers are working at. More to come on PLCs in just a moment, because right now this has been one of the key board superintendent team goals that we have developed. And our school board and myself, we're very, very proud of some of the things we put into place to make this happen. Specifically, each one of our schools over a 2-year period will be presenting their school improvement plans, which is a document that all of our schools need to do in the state of Washington, but we've made them come alive and have them be very real, related to our PLCs. And every one of our schools, all of our administrators and teams are coming to present their school improvement plans in front of our school board during school board meetings. You can look at all of these and look on board docs for any recordings, but they have been marvelous. Hats off to our administrators and our teacher teams for that. The other thing that they're all doing is that our board is getting a chance to visit our PLCs in action on Thursday mornings. And we have 13 schools that we're doing that for, and then at the end of this year we'll flip it, and the schools that shared their school improvement plans at the board meeting, those will be the schools that the board visits, and the 13 schools that are being observed for their PLCs will be the ones then to present at the school board. So we're giving a 2-year cycle, and this is in an effort to really allow to showcase what amazing work is happening in our schools. And I just really applaud the board for the questions they've asked and their interest, and even equally so, the level of time that's been spent to be very meticulous and involved as far as looking at school data by our administrator and teacher teams in sharing that information with the board. In as a leader and over the last 3.5 years, I've shared often that there is the key things, the accountability, the collaboration, and also the transparency. And this is clearly reflected in the work that the board superintendent team has been doing. So really excited about that. And that leads to the high performing staff that we have in Central Valley. The next thing is something that's very, very important to our community and very important to the accountability and the transparency piece. And that are three things that I wanted to touch on tonight: our financial audits, our growing fund balance, and our community support for levies. First, let's start with the financial audits. Every year, the state of Washington conducts financial audit for every school district. And I'm proud to say the number of years with no findings has been 18 years on that basic accountability audit for compliance with requirements and safeguarding public resources. So just wanted to highlight that piece. Our business services team know they are under the spotlight, and we need to be accountable to the taxpayers for the money that is going in for the taxes to pay for this endeavor of education. The other thing I just want you to know is we have had a couple of findings related to the ESSER dollars that came in that were very, very specific. Every district had these kind of audits, and some districts had findings. It's not uncommon to have that happen, but there's also opportunities in the audit process for any corrective measures to be made, and we have followed up on all of those corrective measures. So I just wanted you to know, through the state of Washington and the auditor's office, we have done our job as far as being accountable for that. This is the part that if any of our board members could talk right now, they would be probably very proud of Board Policy 6022, which was establishing for the first time a minimum fund balance for our district. Minimum fund balance, in short terms, it is our reserve funds, our funds in reserve. And beforehand, it wasn't uncommon for the district to have 2, 3, maybe 4% in a fund balance, maybe a little bit more on certain years. Well, I applaud the board in establishing a 10 to 12% minimum fund balance and the goal of reaching no less than 8% by the end of the 26-27 year. And through the work we have done, and this isn't just one person, it's not just the board, and it's not just the central office, this is the entire district. We have all come together to do some belt tightening to get ourselves to a place where we are on track to get to that minimum fund balance. And we are right now, based on our projections recently in the board meeting that was shared, we're by the end of this year, we're already at 7.5%. And that is important, and let me explain why. That fund balance also allows us to operate, and yet it is only going to fund less than 1 month of expenses. So even though that we might be happy with these higher percentages, we also know that having a fair cushion in the bank, in reserve, ready to go for whenever we need to, if there's dips in some enrollment or issues with funding, we want to be prepared. And so we're just really excited, but we also remain very cautious, and again, applaud that we're on target for the 10 to 12% minimal fund balance. The other thing I just wanted to thank, we want to thank all of our voters. And 52.8% to 52.4% in 2024 for our EP&O, our levy that we basically renew every 3 years. We want to thank our voters because that is what funds so many things, including those activities and so many other components. But we also want to thank our voters because for the first time we passed a capital improvement levy at $47 million, of which half was for some building projects that were sorely needed, and half was also for some technology. So we really want to thank you for that. And to the community support for levies and bonds, we also just wanted to share with everybody that it was very important from feedback that we had from our community that we needed to have a little more an opportunity for our public to see all of our budget and finance. And I'm showing you this right now, the CVSD budget and finance page, just so you can see that we have captured all of these renovations of a new look for our pages to show the expenditures, revenues, and all of the different funds. So you can go here and look at all of those pieces. We also heard from you while I was onboarding as a new superintendent and connecting with all of you. We really heard the need for greater levels of communication between our schools and our parents and our district office and our parents and extended community. So to this end, we have been working hard. You have lots of examples of your principals that have shared their school newsletters on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. And we just really, I applaud our principals for the time they spend to make sure you are all in the know. We also have had a chance to have a district newsletter called The Link. And I just wanted to share with you that we're really proud of the fact that we have now gone from sending out a publication once a year to now partnering with the Splash and the Current to post components of the link every month in the newspaper so that you can read about the amazing stuff happening in the district right in the Splash and the Current. We just want to thank them and as community partners for helping us get the word out about the district. We also have had opportunities for community link events where we would get a chance to pull everybody in from the different learning communities, and that's been so positive. And we thank you for that. We've held community conversation, very important to our board that they hear from our community. So we have had a chance to offer those. And so we will likely continue to do that. As I mentioned, the monthly updates in the local newspapers. And also coming soon, we have heard from lots of parents, is there a way we can have a single tool that allows for more two-way communication between teachers, coaches, and parents, so we don't have all of these different apps that we're using on our phones to connect and hear what's going on with various activities and sports and different things. So that we're excited about, that's coming soon. So stay tuned for that. The other thing I just wanted to share is it's been very important for us to deliver on our promises. And that is one of the reasons when we did the capital projects levy in the past, we also sought a limited general obligation bond. And that is in short order, in other terms, we took out a loan so we could borrow money up front and actually end up saving money in over the 6 years that we're getting money for the taxes for these projects so we could finish them sooner. And that saves us because every year we wait to complete it, we not only don't have those projects completed, but they cost more. So by front loading this with an LGO, we and our board saw this, approved this, and we are so happy to be able to fast track these projects. And these include safer entrances, the safety vestibules that I'm sure you heard a lot about and saw in the news. You can see the picture right here where we were cutting the ribbon at Broadway Elementary, and we have 5 done already and 5 scheduled this summer, way ahead of schedule. So I just applaud the board, our business services team, and also our facilities, district facilities, and also the various partners we have from the community to make that happen. These also include playground equipment, new roofs on a few schools, and technology improvements. And finally, just we want to, if you do have an opportunity, that you can go onto our website here. You can copy down this and see this on our website and take a look just so you can see all of the details more closely. All right. I'd like to talk a little bit about just the strategic roadmap. We have 4 directions shown by 4 colors here. Our first one is direction 1, pursuing a culture of belonging and equitable opportunities for all. Really excited to talk a little bit about the fee schedule that the board passed last year. And this approved budgeting $150,000 to reduce student fees for families, and resulting in a revision to the schedule for athletics and activities. And on the screen, you can see just the specific details. You can see that it was an actual policy that we developed. And we always want to hear from you if that's working for you. We have already heard that it is, but if you want to reach out, you can always talk to someone at your school, talk to a board member or any administrator, and we'd love to hear more from you. But you can see that those amounts that were actually saved by families there. We also are excited for 2026 and 27 to, depending on our board and the action that they're going to take, we would like to standardize K-5 supply kits and offer supply kits that are going to reduce family burden and have some consistency across all of our schools. This is important because the range we're finding of the request of things for our families to buy has become overly burdensome. And in some schools, there's lots of things, and in other schools, there's less. So we just want to see what we can do as far as reducing that. Stay tuned to that, another exciting piece. I'm also happy to point out that we have a lot here for student voice. We have started a new student advisory council in 2023, and they have been meeting. It's a 2-year commitment. We have 3 to 4 meetings a year, and we have representatives from every school that help provide feedback on what's happening at their schools, but also to help with decision making. So in the second direction, this is where I just want to talk to you. We've just had lots of positive feedback on the balanced calendar. You likely took part in a survey. 70 to 80% satisfied, very satisfied, and look very soon for the new calendar coming out. We're working on that right now. We know a lot of people are asking. And secondly, the cell phone policy. That has been a game changer for so many of our students and our staff and our administrators. We put the phones away, and we really are seeing a dramatic increase in engagement by students. I also wanted to talk a little bit about our social workers. These incredible individuals led by our new on-time graduation administrator have really had a profound impact on our on-time graduation rate that you saw. There was over 4% of an increase. So we're really, really happy with this work that came out of our strategic plan. The fourth direction, just wanted to highlight, if you haven't heard about an AA degree in the high school, we are so excited about, and you'll see this in the report card, we have 91 students starting to take part in the first few cohorts. But what if every kid could have and not only graduate with a diploma, but also the first 2 years of college under their belt as they walk across the stage as a senior? That's the promise. That's the possibility there that we're really excited about. If you want to know more, talk to your high school principal, and they'll be able to share more. We also have been doing a ton of work revamping our career and technical education courses to align with some of the interests that our students have, and also align with some of the industry that is really searching for some skills that transfer over as they learn from the classroom and join in and possibly go into the workforce. And the other thing that we're really excited about is our alternative learning experiences. 2 programs, our parent partnership that is really becoming robust off of Barker Road and the Barker building, but also the Old Spokesman Review building, where it houses our Central Valley Virtual Learning High School for 9 through 12 students, brand new, responding to the needs that our students asked for and our families for an alternative to have 1 or more classes or all of the classes be online. So we're really excited about these pieces. Lastly, and the last item that we just want to talk about, what parent doesn't want to get involved in their school or know ways to get involved? Well, I think this is absolutely stunning to see the number of volunteers we have through the community. And so we wanted to take some data on that. And over 2,800 individuals or opportunities that volunteers, everybody can get involved with volunteering. There's so many ways, whether it's helping kids with literacy, helping to prepare something through the PTOs, PTAs, or in being involved with robotics or in sports, whatever it is, please get involved because we love it, because it's a firsthand chance for you to see what's happening in our schools. And it's a great way to advertise the incredible programs we've got. The other thing that we're really happy with, we made a big revamp to parent-teacher conferences. All of our elementary parents are getting involved with those. And we really appreciate the parent feedback we have that has been very positive about the changes we've made from 11.5 days down to 5 full days, and to really streamline that process so we have less learning loss through more time away from school. So thank you, parents, on that. Thank you, teachers, for just the work that you're doing there. And we always have opportunity. We're always going through curricular adoptions. If you ever want to come in and review all of our curriculums, please know that you can do so. Something we're bringing back, the Parent Advisory Council, and applications are closing February 5th, so that's next week. If you want to apply to be on the council, this is where we're going to get a chance to bring parents to come in and talk about what's on your mind and the concerns or success areas, or it really a way to be able to liaise with the superintendent and the leadership to really take part in providing feedback of what's going on in our schools. We also have the long-range planning committee that is involved with our facilities, both in the short and the very long term. What do we need to do as far as our buildings? What needs to be slated for improvements? Maybe what else do we need to build? And that's going to be the work of the long-range planning committee. And then coming next year, there is a new graduation portal, and a portal that's going to help our grade 8 to grade 12 students chart their high school and beyond plan through in their career through this new tool that the state is providing for us, and it's absolutely extraordinary. It's called School Links, so that's coming soon. So this is the key stuff that we just wanted to share. We're so excited just to share all of this with you. And you might be saying, well, what's next? So we're going to continue to work on our strategic plan, just as every teacher, every effective teacher has a very solid lesson plan that they're following. The district leadership, we have a lesson plan, and that's our strategic plan. It's for 5 years. We're going to continue to work on those components. And these two things are really what's bubbling up right now. We really want to take a look at our career profiles of kids, and how do we make sure that we're identifying all of the disposition, the skills, the mindsets that go in for this generation of students to be successful, not just while they're in school now as an 8th grader or 9th grader or 10th grader, but after they walk across the stage, receive their diploma, and they're ready for their next adventure. We want to look more at that. The other thing we want to do is how can we provide more opportunities for students to get a firsthand look at what a career might be for them. So there might be something that's of interest. They want to be a firefighter. They want to be a welder. They want to be a doctor or a lawyer. How can we provide a quick opportunity for them to see that and experience, and they go, that's what I want to do. Or they say, oh, that's not what I want to do. Those are really important opportunities in real time that we can be engaged with. So just a lot of excitement here with all of the things that are going on. And now this concludes the main part, and we would love to hear from you right now. And so if you have a chance to enter your questions into the Q&A field, we have a moderator, Mr. Kirsten Copeland, who's going to help us. And Kirsten, I just want to go ahead and turn it over to you, and you can take it away.
Yes, good evening, Dr. Parker. We have our first question that really is centered around AI, so I'm going to send that over to you now. At the December 14th board meeting, Ridgeline students noted that teachers were using AI, and students stated that they felt that they were not getting the personal feedback that they were used to. What is Central Valley School District doing to manage AI, and are there policies in place or being developed to address these tech changes that are fundamentally changing teaching and learning?
Wow, that's a great question. The one thing that is I consider myself to be somewhat tech savvy, and the speed with which AI is impacting the world around us is profound. And it is not linear, it's exponential. And so one of the things that we wanted to make sure that we did, even starting a year and a half ago, is we developed some new policy, or excuse me, some guidelines that were kind of putting some bumpers on the work that we wanted our teachers to be able to explore and look at AI. We were reticent about establishing specific policies. And the reason for that, as soon as you do a policy, it can be dated, and then the innovations and the different things involving AI already render it obsolete. And so what we've been doing is really trying to walk side by side along our teachers and our adults, our teachers and other people that are supporting our students, so that we're offering training for teachers that are interested in learning more about how AI can help. We are also wanting to make sure that AI is being used properly. This is always a major concern about the concerns about possible plagiarism. But while there's also concerns about plagiarism and something not being generated by the student, there's also lots of success stories about how teachers and students are utilizing AI for incredible advances in learning. So I think that we have got continual work to do, and we're going to have to monitor that through our teaching and learning department. But we're committed to keeping the guardrails on there to make sure that students are not necessarily stepping over that line, and that our teachers are providing the high level of support for our students along the way using that. But again, it's growing so fast. We're trying to stay caught up with it with our professional development department with our teachers.
All right. The next question is around funding. When are we going to implement equality in funding for the arts programs? Our theater and performing arts students and families pay for everything currently.
That's a good question. I'd like to talk more with that individual who shared that. Here's what I would just offer offhand. I think, one of the reasons why we developed the fee schedule was to try to help reduce these expenses that our families pay. We understand that there are some extracurricular activities that are more costly than others, and that we have at our high schools, we have booster programs that might help. We're trying to make sure that the funds that are helping out our extracurriculars, like theater, we're getting some help and support to those that is from the district. But at the same time, we also understand and know that boosters are providing some support there. So I'd like to know more on specifics, so that I'm not just guessing as to what the solution would need to be, because I also know that we have been working really hard to be more equitable in that regard. And that can be challenging when you have a lot of competing interests for activities. But we want to figure out ways that we can support that, whether it's theater, whether it's the other performing arts, and of course, sports at the middle school or other things. So would love to know more, and maybe that person can reach out and even connect with someone, or one of my team can reach out to that individual, and we can get a contact to talk with them further.
Fantastic. And just a reminder to our audience that if you cannot see the Q&A button, if you click on the More button on the side, you should be able to select question and answer and submit any questions that you may have for us. All right, the next question is around our calendar for next year. Do we have any idea when next year's calendar will be out?
Yes, thank you for asking this question. We are anticipating the calendar to come out probably towards the end of this of February. The one of the things that we have been trying to honor from the feedback we received, both from our community and from our teachers, is we really wanted to hear more about how the February break was going to go for everybody. We tried to stay true to that. We did some preliminary surveying, and we've had very, very positive feedback. But one of the promises that I made as a person that led the Balanced Calendar Committee, and also the promise I made to our school board, was that we were going to get adequate feedback from our community, and we want to be cautious about putting a calendar out there that has not been vetted through the right feedback. With that said, we are very, very close to having a calendar, and I think I can say with some assuredness that there is quite a very high chance that we are going to see a start towards the end of August, an ending time, middle of June, and there is also an opportunity, probably quite likely, that we're going to maybe see the 2 weeks at Christmas and potentially the week-long break in February. There's other dates that we're working on right now and looking at and talking with all of our groups. As soon as we get those determined, we will make sure that our community knows it. But I wanted to acknowledge the fact this is taking a bit of time. And all of the groups that are involved with this, we understand that we're trying to make sure we're honoring opportunities to make sure that we're bringing all of those groups in to talk about it.
All right, very good. All right, Dr. Parker, this one's going to pivot to a new policy. Just checking in to see how the new cell phone policy has been going.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and share. I visit classrooms quite a bit, and it's one of the things I really value. And I'm going to share just the feedback I've received, both from kids and teachers. So many teachers have thanked the district and the board for the vision of the cell phone policy, because as a blanket policy, it allows everybody to be on the same page with enforcement and putting the phones away, as opposed to one school, one classroom doing it and others not. So the blanket policy has helped incredibly. That's the feedback I've received while I've been out in schools. Our students also appreciate it because they are seeing a lot more teachers making sure it's being enforced. And we understand that there are going to be times when students could have it out, but we're really trying to minimize that because we already know that students are on their phone a lot. For that matter, adults are on their phone a lot. So this is sacred time for teaching and for learning and for students and staff to be interacting with one another. And I believe we are reaching that goal. We'll continue to get more feedback through the surveys we're going to be offering, but so far we're thrilled with the impact it's had.
Perfect. This one's going to toggle to our midwinter break question, or around the midwinter break. What opportunities or suggestions do you have for folks to do, parents to do with their students during the break?
Oh, this is a great question, and I'm glad somebody asked this. And we're going to be getting more information out there. When we started this process, one of the questions the board I had, is for our families that are not accustomed to a break in February and they struggle to find childcare, what are some opportunities? And I'm just happy to report that the Boys and Girls Club out of our Safe Center out of McDonald are really open and have received a grant for an opportunity for parents to have their kids come for the full week there at the Safe Center off McDonald at the old Keystone building. And not only that, through the partnership we have with the Hub, the sports facility just on the other side of I-90, and they are developing a whole list of activities. And these things there's a charge for them, but the cost compared to what it might be for regular childcare is very low. And we would just ask that everybody take advantage of that. But they're developing programs and opportunities for parents to drop their kids off at those two sites. Please take advantage of that or learn more about it. And we'll be sending out more information on that soon.
All right. This question is centered around financial literacy. What is the district offering for our students around education on financial literacy?
One of the things that we heard loud and clear 3.5 years ago when we had the comprehensive phone survey with over 1,000 individuals in this district was the interest in financial literacy. And you know what? We have really worked hard to respond to that. Before, we might have a single class offered at a high school that was an elective and sometimes offered through CTE. We still have that, and it's still a great class. But what we were interested in, how can we reach more students? And not only that, maybe all students. So what we decided to do was take a look at the financial literacy standards that the state has, and we started to try to figure out where do they overlap with certain classes and standards that would be appropriately placed in a class, and how could we teach this standard here, this standard over there, and this standard in this other class. And so what we found was there were a lot of economic standards that we were identifying in middle school that all of our students that go through our social studies classes get an opportunity to have opportunities of financial literacy standards. Have we hit all of them yet? No, but we're well on our way as far as providing professional development for all of our social studies teachers to be able to teach aspects of the financial literacy. That has been very important. We plan to move into some real rudimentary things, even in elementary, where we're putting those lessons, complementing certain things that they're doing maybe in math with some financial literacy pieces. We're trying to work smarter in that regard, as opposed to just doing something where we're dumping this expectation onto our schools of this is another class that all of the students have to take. So we're trying to be very careful and articulate and targeted with how we're bringing those standards in and doing it in an age-appropriate manner.
Fantastic. The next question is around the differences between AA in the high school and Running Start, and if you could explain a little bit more about the differences between those two program tracks.
Certainly. Running Start, when you think about Running Start, a student is usually exiting or they might take 1 or 2 classes at a school, and then the remaining 2, 3, 4, and some students are full Running Start. They are off-site at one of our community colleges or maybe even a university where they're taking coursework that's college-level coursework. So that is a typical profile of a Running Start student. The A in the high school is something where we felt as an opportunity for every kid to experience getting an Associate of Arts degree. That's where the AA comes from, the Associate of Arts degree. And that is not something that's new. The community college awards an Associate of Arts degree, but we started to conceptualize what would happen if we allowed students to bring all of these college level classes. And what if we started to connect a class they take at the high school and to get approval from a local university to call it a college level class? And what if we partner with our community college and our university so that all of these courses that are taken in a high school, specific ones, can all transfer and be counted as college level classes for students, and they get to remain in their high school without having to travel to a community college or a university. That's the key, because so many of our students have identified they don't want to sacrifice the experience of their the high school experience. So what does that look like? Please go onto our website to check it out, because if there is any opportunity that's a golden opportunity for families in the Central Valley School District, especially because of the costs of college, please take advantage of this. To give you an example, a student might take a class. It's not just it could be an advanced placement class, but it might be a regular class, but the curriculum is lined up with something that would be offered at Eastern Washington University. And then that class is coded for the appropriate class at the community college where they award the credit. We're working on all those details. All kids need to do in families is to talk to their counselors, and they'll help them through that process. So one is the kids really leaving and pursuing their college through the Running Start. The other one is kids get a chance to stay, experience the high school, but they're going to walk across the stage with a diploma and with an AA degree, and they're going to be able to go in reality with junior status and not have paid a dime through the first 2 years of their college career. We're excited about that, and we feel like it's an access thing for all of our students.
All right. So we have just a couple more questions, Dr. Parker. The next one is around what parents can do. I'm sorry. What can parents do to help their students be successful?
You want to know one of the main things that I'm already so impressed with the parents in this school district is how involved they are already. For some of our parents, they are they're skilled and they're highly involved and they want to know what's going on. And for some of our parents that might be from single parent homes and they're holding down one or two jobs, it might be a little more challenging. The one thing that I would say, something as simple as reading and connecting with their maybe student from in K-5, where you're just getting a chance to read together, do that. When you get a chance to connect with your child and ask what's going on at school, poke and prod a little bit more. Ask them what is the teacher doing in their class. For students that are in grades 6 through 12, I think just having an opportunity to attend maybe one of those activities, encourage your child to get involved with an after-school activity in addition to all of their regular 6-period day. Why? Or 7-period day. Why? Because what we are seeing and what we see in the research is the kids that are belonging to clubs, activities, and different extracurricular activities find a greater sense of belonging. And once you connect a kid and develop that sense of belonging, you've got them hooked. And that's what we're after. And parents can help establish that with their child, find ways for the kid to get involved, their child to get involved with the various activities at their school. It just makes all the difference. So, and then, you know what? Parents, ask those questions of the teachers. How can I get involved? And I'm limited this way, or I'm limited that way. How can I get involved? What would make a difference? And specifically for their child. So just ask that question of the teachers and staff and principal.
All right, fantastic. Dr. Parker, did you have any final thoughts? Those were the questions from the chat. Do you have any final thoughts for us?
Well, I'm going to say there might be other questions that we didn't get to. So we're going to catalog all of those questions. And if you want to, put a name to those so we can reach out, we're happy to talk with you. If you don't, we will still do kind of probably a Q&A that allows us to capture your question and provide a response to it. If you feel like my response didn't really answer your question, please let us know, because we want to make sure that you feel like your question was answered. And I just also want to just share that we want to thank you for the high levels of involvement and support that you are providing us in the district. We know that there's always competing interests as far as time. That's why we're doing this webinar tonight. We know that we have big events going on at our high schools. So just stay tuned, check our website, get involved. And we just thank you for all the supports you provide to Central Valley School District.